All she wanted was to be left alone, but it seemed that that was too much to ask. I told you before to always reply to me when I'm talking to you, or are you now deaf? I love Harold, Diane said again. Mrs. Collins was now close to where Diane was sitting on one of the chairs, and she practically got in her face to spit some more vile words at her. But at that moment, Harold entered the living room. What's going on here? How are my two favorite women on earth doing this wonderful evening? He asked, coming closer to both women and placing his briefcase on the table. Mrs. Collins immediately straightened and gave her son a big smile, acting like all was fine and she hadn't literally been threatening Diane a few moments before. Welcome home, my darling son. How was your day today? She asked, her voice sweet as she went towards him for a big, long hug, and peppered his face with kisses. He hugged her back and they conversed in light, quiet tones, which were obviously not meant for Diane's ears. For Diane's part, she wiped her tears away and tried to put a bright smile on her face for her husband's benefit. Welcome home, babe. How was your day? She asked him, coming over to meet him and Mrs. Collins, and trying to ignore the disgusted look that Mrs. Collins threw her way. It was fine, babe. Thank you very much. And how was your day? He asked her, taking his hand off his mother's shoulders and taking Diane's hand in his. Diane tried not to dwell on how Mrs. Collins's face darkened at that move. The woman tried to get Harold's attention again, but he had his attention on Diane this time around, and he led her away to their room. I'm so sorry about my mom. I heard some of what she was saying to you. Thank you for not telling her about the miscarriage, babe. Harold told her when they got into the room, taking her in his arms and giving her a light kiss on the lips. Diane leaned against him and sighed, wishing that things were different and they had their own little bundle of joy already. She's your mom, babe. I know you love her, but you have to stand up to her and tell her to stop hounding me all the time over something I have no control over. You know that had it been in my power, this house would have been filled with the sounds of laughing children already. I know. I'll talk to her. Listen, I have a wonderful surprise for you, Harold told her, purposely changing the topic. Really? What is it? I booked a vacation for us. We're going to the Bahamas. I know you've always wanted to go there, so I decided to make it a reality for you. How do you like that? Are you kidding? I love it. Oh, thank you so much, honey. Wait, your mom isn't coming as well, is she? Diane asked, her excitement fading a little as she dreaded the answer. The last thing she needed was Mrs. Collins breathing down her neck, while she was supposed to be on vacation. Mrs. Collins had made sure to always ruin any vacation that the couple ever went on with her presence because she always insisted on coming along with them, and then causing trouble for Diane. It didn't help that Harold was too scared of his mother to defend his wife, and so he almost always pretended not to notice whenever Mrs. Collins began her annoying shenanigans. No, I didn't tell her about the vacation this time around. It's going to be just the two of us. I hope we enjoy the vacation. If we're lucky enough, maybe we'll have a baby so that mom doesn't keep bothering you. We're leaving tomorrow morning, Harold told her. Thank you, Harold. Thank you for always supporting me, Diane said, her voice choked with emotion. They kissed each other passionately, and just when things were starting to get really hot and heavy between them, Harold's phone suddenly rang. He picked it up and frowned when he saw the caller ID. Honey, you can rest first. I still have some work to do, he told her, and then walked into the study to answer the phone. It was Nicole, Diane's best friend, who was calling, and when he answered the call, he was flabbergasted at the news she delivered to him. I arrived in the city this night. You and I need to see tomorrow. It's really urgent, she said without preamble. What on earth are you talking about? What do you mean by you arrived in the city that night? How come I didn't know that you were coming back? I decided that I wanted to give you a wonderful surprise. Why, haven't you missed me all this while? I thought that you'd be happy to hear from me, Nicole said sultrily. Well, I can't meet with you and I don't even want to. I'm going on vacation with my wife tomorrow morning. I see how it is. Love in paradise, huh? So you're taking that barren woman on a vacation? You're wasting your money on someone who adds no value to your life? How stupid. Watch your tongue, and once again, I'm not going to see or meet with you. Good night, Harold told her and hung up, after which he turned off his phone. The next morning, however, as some of their domestic staff loaded him and Diane's luggage into the car, an unfamiliar car drove into the compound, And in the next second, Nicole got out of the car, beaming widely. Oh my goodness! I cannot believe my eyes. I must be seeing things. Diane exclaimed in blatant joy and surprise, rushing over to hug Nicole. The two women hugged for what felt like an eternity, and as they hugged, Nicole and Harold's eyes met. She winked at him sultrily, her eyes heavy with promises of what was to come, but he averted his gaze from hers nervously, wishing that she hadn't come. The whole ruckus alerted Mrs. Collins and Harold's sister, Evelyn, who came outside to see what the ruckus was all about. All right, ladies. I guess this means that the vacation has to be postponed. I have to get to work urgently because something just came up anyway, so I'll see all of you later. Have fun. Harold said that he hopped into the idling car to make a hasty getaway from the awkward situation he knew was about to unfold with the presence of his mother and sister, leaving Diane to deal with their luggage. Diane didn't mind that the vacation was canceled though, because she was overjoyed to see her childhood friend after so many years. I don't understand. What's with all this luggage? Who's going somewhere? Mrs. Collins asked. Her sharp gaze took the whole situation in, and she decided in her mind that the luggage was for Nicole, who had probably come for a visit. Evelyn, however, knew exactly who the luggage was for, and her mouth formed into a sneer as she looked Diane up and down. Well, it must be incredibly great to be a lazy slob who lazes about all day doing nothing, yet you can go on expensive vacations at the snap of a finger, Evelyn said derisively, the jealousy coming off her in droves. Nicole took in the whole situation at a glance and understood it for what it was immediately. It was clear that despite how much Harold pretended that he didn't want to see her and that he and Diane were happy, the reverse was the case, or at least their marriage was far from happy. It was obvious in the way his mother and sister were embarrassing Diane in front of her, and how Diane's face was flushed with embarrassment. Well, that was a surprise and welcome news to her. Mrs. Collins, Evelyn, this is my best friend, Nicole. I don't know if you remember her, but she was the chief bridesmaid at my wedding, Diane began to say, but Mrs. Collins cut her off. We don't need your family history, all I want is for you to stop wasting my son's hard-earned money as though money grows on fucking trees, or at least, hello ma'am. It's so nice to meet you once again. I can beat my chest and say that you haven't aged a day in the 5 years since I last saw you. You still look as beautiful and radiant as you did on Diane's wedding day. Nicole gushed, directing her words at Mrs. Collins, who looked her up and down. It was clear that she was pleased by the words, but because Nicole was a friend of Diane's, she wasn't about to start being friendly with her. Thanks, dear, but I can't say the same thing about you. I don't even remember seeing you before. Oh, that's all right. I've got a very forgetful face, so it's not a surprise to me that you don't recognize me. If you say so.
Come, Evelyn, onei.
Let's go back inside, Mrs. Collins said to her daughter, and with one last annoyed glance at Diane and her visitor, the two went inside. Geez, what a surly bunch. How do you cope with those people, Diane? Nicole asked. Shuh, don't talk about them like that. They might overhear and it will cause me more problems. They don't like me as it is, but that's by the way. Enough about me. How come you didn't tell me you were coming back home? We still spoke the day before yesterday. I wanted it to be a cute little surprise. It was the greatest and best surprise ever. I've really missed you, and I haven't had another close friend since you left 5 years ago. Please tell me you're back to stay, Diane said, clasping Nicole's hands in hers. Of course, I'm here to stay. I missed you as well all these years. And I've only realized just how much I missed you now that I've seen you again. Oh, you don't know how happy it makes me to hear that, Nicole. Trust me, babes. I do know. Anyway, I brought you and your husband some gifts.